This is Thundercats 4-inch Claudus, or King Claudus, part of the second wave of the new Thundercats line, the 2011 Thundercats. I believe he is number 33011 of the second wave, the first wave of 2012. I really like this guy. I'm not a huge fan of the 4-inch Thundercats line. I prefer the 6-inch figures better. But I was actually really excited for him. I really like the little I saw of him in the first episode. I really liked him, and the mold is really nice. I mean, he looks like a king kitty. Anyway, on to him in a minute. Let's look at the packaging that he comes in. It's still the same packaging as the first wave. That bluish color with the half moon bubble. Got a really cool picture of him right there. Look how savage he looks. He looks like a feral, ferocious guy. And here's the back with a little picture of him and some little things about what he can do. And here is the rest of the wave. This is the rest of wave 2. Metal Arm Panthro, Lion-O version 2, and Mumm-ra The Ever Living, Mumm-ra transformed. I have all those, and I will be reviewing them next. He is a Thunderlynx figure, which means he has a magnet in his back, and when you put him into a Thundercats vehicle, the magnet interacts with the vehicle, and the vehicle lights up. I'm not sure if any of them make sounds. I don't have any of them except for the new one, the new Tiger Flyer with Tygus. I'll be reviewing that one as well. Anyway, on to the figure. I really like him. I mean, he's spot on from the cartoon. I think his hair might have been a little longer, just a teeny bit, but I mean, that's about it. I really like this guy. He looks like what a king lion should look like. Unlike, Lion-O, who's, still basically just a prince. But this guy's really cool. He's got a really solid body, and his armor it's real intricate. Anyway, the accessories he comes with is a Sword of Omens. It's the same one that Lion-O has. I believe it's the same mold from the first wave. I don't have any of those figures, but it looks the same. And of course, it's really bent. I left this one unbent for the review so I could show you guys just how bent these swords get. And it's really flimsy. I'm not even sure how much a boiling and reshaping could do, because it's just so flimsy. I mean, even when I freeze it, it's probably not gonna, it's so easily bent again. Anyway, and he's got a cape, which is removable. And you can see the Thunderlynx underneath him. One of the bad things about these figures is there's no articulation in the waist. Unlike, at first I thought, I said maybe it's because of the Thunderlynx thing, but I looked at the first wave and they mostly have articulation in the waist, so a little step backwards from Bandai on that aspect of it. Anyway, onto the mold. The mold is definitely my favorite part of the figure. He's really big, really solid, and he's got this great armor and clothing mold all over him. It's really intricate. All the armor is removable. So you can it's just a little peg hole. Where is it? No. It's just a little peg hole, and then it slips to the side like that, and there's the peg hole, and it comes off. So you can have him a naked kitty if you want. But I think he looks pretty ugly without it on. One thing I don't like about the mold in these Thundercats figures is the screws. They leave the exposed screws out in the back all the time, and it's really ugly. I'll get back in there. There we go. See those screws? It's not attractive at all. And these are removable too, but they're a little hard to get back in because of his mane, so I'm not going to take him out. His legs are really solid and thick. His arms too. It's all this hard plastic. It's none of that. It's a little pliable in the hands, but that's it. And the legs a little bit, but man, you could. It's pretty hard. And then his head sculpt look at that, it's really nice. The detail on his face is outstanding. And his mane is, I really like his mane. Look at the detail on that armor too, on that shoulder armor. It's really nice. The paint application, it's really nice. It's simple like most Thundercats, but I mean there's almost no flaws in it at all. It's got a nice shiny, that bluish green color, almost the same color that Lion-O has. And then the flims, or the removable pieces, are like a matte black with a little bit of blue trimming. And his legs are black with the green right here. I think the best parts about the paint application is the armor. The Thundercats symbol, of course, which is on there spot on, it's perfect. And the face. I'm not sure if those are, if that's like, I don't know how they do that, because I mean, it's really small detail, but it's flawless. I'm not sure if it's printed on there or if somebody actually painted that on there, I'm not sure. The only thing about the face I don't like is the little, see that little stripe going across his nose and cheeks? That looks a lot different in the cartoon, and on here, on him, it really just looks like a line drawn across his face. So that's a little annoying, but I mean, it's definitely not a deal breaker. As far as articulation goes, he's got a ball jointed head, which really means just swivels kind of, because of the mane. He's got ball hinge arms, so they rotate 360 and go in and out, but the armor, you can't because the armor's there. He's got a simple hinge elbow, swivel wrists. Again, no articulation in the waist. He's got ball hinge hips, so he can kick out, kick forward. He's got a simple hinge, yes, a simple hinge knee, and no articulation in the feet or ankles, none. Now, the grip on his hand, it's not the best. As you can see, it's a really wide grip. You're thinking, how is he going to be able to hold this little sword in that hand? Well, what they do is he's got an open grip. It's really open, but down there in the little, I guess, crevice in the corner of his hand, it's a little tighter. You can see in his hand that, see that? It's like a little Dremel drilled in there. So if you shove the sword way in there, he can kind of hold a little bit better, but he does drop it pretty easily. Yeah. Okay, this guy is pretty tall for a Thundercats 4-inch figure. Here he is next to, this is Wave 2 Lion-O, but I believe he's the same size as Wave 1. So he's a lot taller than him. Here he is by Panthro. This is Wave 2 again, but I believe he's the same size. He's taller than him. He's even taller than Joe. And Snake Eyes is on a stand. And here he is next to the 6-inch Lion-O. As you can see, he's a lot smaller than him though. So he's an average height figure. I'm sorry, he's a taller 4-inch figure. Alright, so priority level. This guy is very in demand. I know I was super excited for him, and he's only, they're short packing him in cases. It's only coming 1 Claudus to a case. There's going to be 3 Lion-Os, no wait, 4 or 5 Lion-Os, 3 or 4 Panthros, 2 Mumm-ras, and 1 Claudus. So he's going to be the hardest one to find. I picked him up in Walmart, so you should be able to find him there if you go now, if you leave the house this second before they're all gone. Or you can find them online, but you're going to pay a hefty price online. I saw them for between $15 and $25, whereas you can get them at Walmart for $7. But I recommend him. He is definitely my favorite of the wave, followed closely by Mumm-ra. Again, I'll have the rest of the wave up. I'll do Mumm-ra Transformed next, then Lion-O with the version 2 Lion-O with the bigger gauntlet and battle damage, and then version 2 Panthro with the metal arms. Hope you found this helpful, and until next time, keep collecting.